The carving looked Central or South American in style, perhaps Aztec. The two Japanese girls were inexplicably amused by something. Bonjour. I wonder if you could help me.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
What's so funny? Oh, never mind. It was a stone identical in size and style to the coyote stone. However, this stone bore the image of a jaguar. The display case contained a couple of vases.
Can I help you, miss?
Have you ever heard of an English sea captain called El Draco?
El Draco? Not a very English name.
I think that's what the Spanish would have called him. It was about the time of the conquistadors.
16th century. Oh, I know. That's what the Spanish called Sir Francis Drake.
Francis Drake? Have you got anything here that belonged to him?
Indeed, miss. We have a couple of artifacts he brought back from one of his journeys.
What can you tell me about that stone with a jaguar on it?
The so-called Jaguar stone was brought back from the Americas by Sir Francis Drake and presented, along with the more famous scrying mirror, to John Dee.
What's this scrying mirror?
It's a little square of polished obsidian. Mine it is.
And what does it do?
Well, it's a bit like a crystal ball, except flat and black. And you can't see anything in it. Old man Dee had a psychic who reckoned he could speak to the angels through it. I think he was taking Dee for a ride myself. The old loony didn't like the stone, though. Reckoned it was tainted by the devil. Come along, miss. I'll show you the mirror. There. John Dee's famous scrying mirror, given to him by Francis Drake.
Do you know if this mirror has any relevance to Tezcatlipoca?
Who? I can't even say it. Ah, there's someone here who'll be able to help you better than me. This young lady has some questions to ask, Professor. I think she's from France.
Professor Oublier?
Eh? What?
You two know each other, do you? Excuse me, the telephone.
We meet again.
Mademoiselle? France, eh?
Yes, I believe that's where you live, Professor.
I have a house there, on the outskirts of Paris, but I haven't been back for many months.
What can you tell me about the Jaguar stone, Professor?
It's obsidian, from the Chichen Itza region.
Professor Oublier, your taxi's here.
If you'll excuse me, I have some urgent business to attend to at the docks.
Can you answer me some questions about the Jaguar stone?
Certainly, miss. If you just step this way. It's gone. Some sods half-inched it.
Half-inched?
Stolen it, miss. Never mind. The silent alarm will have been tripped. I'm afraid nobody can leave until our crack security team gets here.
How long will that take?
Could be a while. I think it's their tea break.
The thief could be miles away by then.
Don't you worry about that, miss. Just don't try to leave.
It was too much of a coincidence that Oublier showed up and the stone promptly disappeared. I didn't have time for their crack security team to finish their tea. I had to get after him. I didn't steal the stone. I was nowhere near it.
So who do you suppose did steal it?
It must have been Oublié.
Huh! Begging your pardon, but he's a man of letters. A professor.
So was Moriarty. Man of letters or not, he's your culprit. Don't you think it's suspicious that Oublié has urgent business at the docks?
Not in the slightest, young lady. He's gone to oversee the unloading of cargo. An exhibition of Mayan sculpture on loan from Mexico City.
What's the name of the ship?
The Xibalba Princess. Moored down by Tower Bridge. Why do you ask?
Just wondering. Look at this. The thief left this key in the cabinet.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That makes the theft an inside job, right?
Oh dear.
In other words, the thief was Professor Oublié.
Well, let's leave that for the police to decide, shall we? I better phone them right away. Hello?
I knew I had nothing to worry about if the police were called.
Yes, hello.
But I had to catch up with Oublié, and fast. All that was left inside the cabinet was a card describing the missing stone. The key unlocked the case. It was an obsidian dagger, thin and razor sharp. I levered the handle open with the thin dagger.
The room had been decorated to resemble the interior of a sailing ship. It was disturbingly effective. It was an old book with spidery writing covering the open pages. March 20th, 1670 fix. Engaged frigate off Fan Falvador? It was garbage. I guess being a pirate didn't require too many academic qualifications. The passage went on to describe how Ketch had got wind of the approach of a fleet of English ships. It seemed the new governor had not shared his predecessor's views on Ketch's activities. They were out for his blood. Sailed to that place where I made secure my fortune. I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor shall not discover that which I had hidden. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle? It was a beautifully crafted model of a sailing ship.
Surprise!
What the? Who are you?
I'm Emily.
What were you doing in there, Emily?
Hiding. What are you doing here?
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-ups? Pfft, I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not. You shouldn't be here. What's your name?
I'm George.
Pleased to meet you, Jaws.
George.
Jaws,
Jeez.
make your mind up.
What can you tell me about Captain Ketch?
That's him on the wall, in the picture.
Yeah? Boy, that's interesting.
He was a sailor captain. This is his house.
Why don't you go play with Rio?
I'm not allowed.
How come?
'Cause Aunt Frost says I'm not allowed out of the house. That's why, Mr. Nosy Beak.
Too bad. Why don't you ask your other aunt if you can play with Rio?
Aunt Mina's cuckoo. Aunt Frost says so. She says when the Lord handed out common sense, Aunt Mina was off getting double portions of chin.
That Rio's a smart kid. He helped me outwit Bronson.
Rio is clever. He can spit ever so far.
I bet you can't keep this piece of coal in your mouth for the next half hour.
Could too. I could keep it in my mouth for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah? Go on then. Prove it.
Don't want to. And if you try to make me, I'll tell Aunt Mina.
Look, an ancient Mayan stone.
Is that a magic stone?
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
Would you like to play darts?
No?
Oh, come on. I'll throw, you catch.
That's dangerous. Darts will stick in me and make me bleed.
Do you know how to use a theodolite?
We don't learn anything about surveying at my school. Not until 5th grade.
The top surface of the desk had a large recessed area set into it. I guessed it was intended to stop things rolling off in heavy seas. There was also an inkwell, and, a few inches away, a small hole with a feather placed in it. That looked like that's where it was supposed to be, so I left it there. Okay, I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what? The chart fitted exactly into the recess on the top of the desk.
What you doing, Jaws?
I'm putting this old map on the desk
What you doing that for, Jaws?
because it was obviously intended to fit in this recessed area.
How'd you work that out?
It's obvious. Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale. The lantern fitted so precisely in the inkwell, it could only be deliberate.
What you doing now, Jaws?
Knock it off, will ya? There's something you ought to know. I don't buy cute or lost puppy. I've put the lantern in the inkwell. See? It fits.
Why?
Because it was cut to fit.
Why?
Because sneaky old Captain Ketch made it that way.
Why?
What is with all the questions?
'Cause I'm interested.
Why?
'Cause I have the insatiable curiosity of the young.
Why?
All right. Truce.
Captain Frederick Ketch, 1570. Around his neck was a cross. Maybe he was a part-time pirate. The portrait might have made a nice souvenir, but it was too large to carry. It was a ship's bell. That might come in useful. In ticklish situations.
What you doing now?
Grown-up stuff.
I doubt that.
I'm just borrowing this feather, that's all.
Why?
I might be able to make use of it.
You gonna steal it? That's bad. I'm gonna tell on you.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, because I'm not stealing, just borrowing. Why don't you run along and play?
Aunt Mina told me. Stay out of mischief.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay indoors, does it? On a beautiful day like today?
There's a storm coming.
Oh, nuts. You don't know that.
I do so. I can see the whole world from the window.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm busy. That cross you're wearing, Emily,
It's my lucky Jesus cross.
it's just like the one Captain Ketch wore.
Uh-huh.
Can I borrow it?
Uh-uh.
What would you trade for that cross, Emily?
A puppy.
Well, I don't happen to have a puppy in my pocket right now. Can you think of anything else you'd trade?
Don't know.
The desk had obviously been cut to fit the chart. Or maybe vice versa. The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces. What do you give to a small, irritating girl who asks about everything?
Try a conch. Delicate colors, interesting shape, and when you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Yeah, why's that?
Usually because you're standing next to it.
Cool. Have you got one?
Yeah, but I promised it to my sister. She well vexed with me.
Why is your sister mad with you?
Well, last night when I got home with our supper, she went wild. Rio, she said, how come all you ever catch is puffer fish? A sicker puffer fish. What I want is tiger fish. So don't bother come back home till you catch one, boy. I don't see how I'm gonna catch no tiger fish. All I have is a fishing pole and a worm.
What do you need to catch a tiger fish?
One of them real fancy flies like the rich fishermen use.
Hey, this is just what you need to make a fly.
Thanks. Let's hope them tiger fish hungry. A deal's a deal. Here's a conch.
Here, I've got a conch. Would you like it?
Dunno. Aunt Frost told me never to take presents from strange men.
I'm not a strange man.
Then why are you called Jaws? Jaws? That's a stupid name.
I'm not called... Look, conch, pretty. Swap for the cross, yes or no? Right, this thing's going out the window.
Okay, we'll do swapsies.
Ketch's cross slipped snugly into the penholder. Before you ask, I've put your cross in this little hole in the desk.
Why?
Impulse mainly, with a dash of irrational intuition.
Silly. Only women have intuition.
The lantern cast a strong light over the desktop. The light cast a shadow of the cross. And the shadow fell precisely over a small, unnamed island shaped like a skull. That must be it. Ketch's Treasure Island.
Uh-oh. That's Zombie Island. It's a bad place.
No kidding? Well, bad place or not, that's my next port of call.
Can I come too?
The hell you can.
I never get to leave the house.